ass fresh.
Yeah, I'll just talk about a little bit of what I thought, of what I liked. From the Sony showcase, honestly, Astrobot was dope. Astrobot was... I mean, PlayStation resorted to a Mario game, and it paid off. They won the show with Astrobot, you know? I'm just going to say it. It looks awesome. You played Astrobot, the pack-in title for the PS5, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm still to do that, and I didn't realize I haven't done that until I saw the trailer for this new game. Because I feel like I've seen it so much that I did play it, but then I realized, I'm like, no, I don't think I myself have ever experienced that game. So I'm definitely going to do that at some point. But yeah, Astrobot looks incredible. I see you have it on your list. What do you think about Astrobot?
I think it's good. I think that is that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't think we need 10 copycats to come out and make a game that way. But because I mean, look at the DS; it is oversaturated with these sort of platform 3D games, right? Mm-hmm. But for Sony to have one like that, I think is great. This looks huge. Like that trailer had so many different boss battles and different ideas of what was going to be happening. So I think that's going to be a great game. It's rumored to not be coming out at full pop, which is also nice. But yeah, a full ass Astrobot game is pretty cool. Very cool.
I think I read somewhere that it is full pop.
Oh god.
And in a weird way, I kind of like that. Just because it justifies maybe the length, the quality. Like, this isn't just a demo anymore. I feel like Sony really wants to take this into a more permanent direction, as into making it a series or something better than just a way to showcase new hardware. So that's a telling sign if it is full pop. But yeah, Astrobot was cool. Then on the Xbox side, real quick, they showed off Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. I don't have to go into this too much. I just feel like this game looked better than I thought it would. Because once I saw it in action and Snake rolling around and like hearing the original voice actors and stuff, like they won me over with this last trailer. Like I was already gonna buy it, but like with this last one, I was like, okay, I'm way more excited about it than I was before. I feel like before I was just a little bit iffy with Konami coming back into games and shit. But now I'm like, okay, this looks cool as hell.
Yeah, it does look really cool, and it'll be interesting to see how get more details as time goes along, or maybe we won't, right? But I mean, I hope we will. Mm-hmm. I'd be nervous if they don't reveal anything else.
No, they gotta show more.
They gotta show I mean, the trailer was nice. It was more like a teaser, right? It was a little bit more than we got last time, right? But
with the bird,
you got a little bit of an idea now of what Snake Eater is going to be. It'll be interesting to see how the game plays, obviously, but I think it looks great, and I think that's fine. I don't know what kind of numbers it'll do in terms of like sales and things like that. It's a very strange time, but I think if it's marketed correctly, it should do well. It's just if it was Kojima, like you would have seen some kind of like a theatrical, literal trailer. You know what I mean? Hollywood style, sort of like the
it's true.
Sort of like the Sons of Liberty trailer that everybody likes, right? But yeah, man.
Or even like Death Stranding, like what he's doing with Death Stranding. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater should be fun. Any announced date for that?
There's a rumor that it's November, but it's
year?
not official. Of this year, which I mean, go ahead, I guess. I didn't think it'd be this year. I feel like this was going to be early next year, but if it is this year, that's cool. Two things that they confirmed: it's gonna play like Metal Gear 5, so more modern take on it, which is cool. I feel like you need something like that, and I love Metal Gear 5. And if you want to play it old school, there is a mode for that where the camera zooms out, you see more of the environment, and like the controls I think become a little more simplified and stuff. So that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's a remake to the T where it's like they don't take anything away from the game, they just add more features to it.
Oh yeah,
which is awesome. Love that. So that's probably number one on my list. Sonic X Shadow Generations. This is basically Sonic Generations from like 2008, maybe. It was on Xbox 360 and PS3, where you played Sonic levels as a modern Sonic and a classic Sonic, so the smaller version and he was like a little chubbier. And you just played levels in 3D and 2D, and it was like, of the new Sonic games, it was always considered one of the best. And now they're revisiting it with a Shadow version where you play as the character Shadow, and he has his own. I don't know if he has his own stages, but he can play. He can also join in on these stages, and they're gonna cater to him a little bit. I am excited for this strictly because I liked the original game, and I'm excited to have a reason to just play it again, and I don't have to whip out the 360 to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows, man. This might be the Assassin's Creed game that gets me into Assassin's Creed.
Really?
This might be the one.
How come?
I've loved everything I've seen so far about this, simply because it looks like Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm a big Ghost of Tsushima fan. Even the feudal Japan stuff in the past few years, it's definitely growing into. It's almost getting go away heat. I feel like it's becoming oversaturated. Everything needs a feudal Japan setting. But I just feel like I've been very picky with what feudal Japan settings I've been getting into. Like, I didn't play The Last Ronin. It didn't look good to me. But I'm willing to try this. This looks cool as hell. And from what I see from these gameplay trailers and these cinematic trailers, if that's anything to go by, it looks really awesome, and at the same time forging an identity of its own. So it's got me intrigued, really intrigued, more than anything else that I've ever seen from Assassin's Creed. I feel like this one could really drag me in, and I don't know if it'll get me to go back and play the other ones, but I feel like this one has a good chance of being played by me, which I honestly didn't think I'd ever get into Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
it should be an interesting game.
You're not into that?
I played the first Assassin's
Shadows?
Creed, the very first one on PlayStation 3.
Dang.
I just never went back. I never got into the games past that, but I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. For example, at Assassin's Creed, Black Flag is considered like one of the best games in the entire series.
It's the pirate.
And there is a little bit of the, and there is a little bit of the. Of sort of the Chinese, Japanese sort of movie style video games, right? We saw during the PlayStation reveal that game called Where Winds Meet. It sort of looks like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where they're kind of flying in the air and doing shit. And that was only a teaser, so that's probably still coming out at some point. Well, it is coming out at some point, but I'm saying more stuff we'll get at some point. That looks like a next year kind of title anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, there seems to be really good. There seems to be a really good vibe behind this one. It kind of reminds me of right before Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out. Everybody's like, "All right, this is the one," and everybody fell in love with that game for like 5 minutes. That was a really, really hot game. So maybe they can recreate that with Shadows. I read somewhere, heard somewhere that this is not going to be some crazy 100-hour game. They're really trying to make it not short, but they're trying to compact the sort of story and the adventure to, the usual 25 to 30 if you want to just finish it, and maybe 40 plus if you want to get the trophies and everything else, right?
And that's good news to me.
Yeah.
I also read the same thing. They're going more off of the one that came out last, the Origin game, because it was like back to its roots. It was smaller. And I'm good with that. Honestly, I don't need a meaty game. Valhalla became that, where, like you said, everyone was in love with it, but then as time has gone on, people that talk about that game now, it's not the greatest stuff,
Yeah.
So,
and that's this generation game, right? That came out on or PlayStation 4, I think. But it did come out on the 5. Yeah.
It came out on the 5. It might have been early, like one of the first games on PS4.
PS5? Yeah, I think I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how that does.
Cool.
For that reason, I'm still wary of it. I want to see reviews before I buy this damn thing.
Right.
Star Wars Outlaws is the other one that, same kind of thing. I don't care for Star Wars at all. I don't think I've ever seen a damn movie. But this is so interesting. This is like GTA Star Wars from what I've seen, riding around. You're what is it? Damn, they use a word for this character, just like an outlaw, like a ragged person. And she's stealing shit, she's trying to she's just a punishment. And it's the way that she moves, the graphics look incredible, by the way. I think this game looks beautiful. And I really dig the world that they've set up here. And I also like the fact that there is a part in the trailer where it becomes a dogfight in space. So there is elements of that dogfighting stuff that they do there. I'm on board almost. I'm like 70% on this game. I feel like, again, I'm going to wait for reviews. If this game is like the next big thing, I feel like I'm probably going to give it a try. Without being a Star Wars fan. I got to stress that. I'm not a Star Wars fan. That's why this isn't an instant click for me. But just as a game, this looks really fun, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see you playing a Star Wars game. I just
I
can't
know.
imagine
That's why
it.
it's like I can't say it's 100%, but we'll see.
Man, it's on your list. That's crazy. My
on
list
my
was
list.
like double the size, but then I'm like, let me just chop it down to like what I would actually be interested in putting down on the credit card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's other games that have my eye, like Gears of War. I'm interested in that from a distance.
I had a couple of those, yeah.
Like I'm like that Gears of War looks really cool. It's a prequel to the first one, which came out in like the early 2000s on the original Xbox. So there's a lot of history with that title. Xbox, you know, is trying to get some hype behind it, and I think it's got sort of those good vibes going for it. But it's just not on my short list, right? Call of Duty Black Ops 6, right? That's another game that I'll probably check out, but I don't know yet. That's going to be one that I'm going to have to wait to see what happens.
I'm surprised that's not on your list, honestly.
Yeah, I am pretty excited about it. I just don't know. You know, all the Black Ops change from game to game, right? Sorry, all Call of Duty games change from game to game, obviously, duh. But what I mean is, in terms of the caliber and the quality, it's give and take, it's up and down, right? Like everybody remembers Black Ops 1 and 2 fondly, right? 3 and 4 a little bit different, right? So it's going to depend. So, but yeah, Star Wars Outlaws.
We'll see.
Have
man.
you played any
If it's
Star Wars
honestly,
game like Knights of the Republic or anything like that?
I played the one on GameCube.
Yeah.
Where, oh man, Rebel Assault? No, I forgot the name of it.
Rebel Fighters?
But
It's like a fighting game?
No, it was just because I had a demo disc and I would play the same level from it over and over again because I actually thought it was fun. But basically, you're flying and you got to go to those walker things with the big legs?
Yeah.
You got to basically tie a rope around them and collapse them.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can go inside them and get something. Like, it was cool. That is my only... that's my history with Star Wars games.
Yeah.
That's it. Just that demo. But, I feel like it's something... The funny part is Star Wars in itself, I feel like if I just watched a couple movies, I could probably appreciate
Sure.
it. But I just don't have the time to do that
The
right
first
now.
three,
So
until 4 to 6, the original ones are really good, and then the other 3 are give or take, and then anything else that came out recently in the last 10 years is just depends. You either like it or hate it, but yeah. I mean, there's so much lore. It would never be like I'd play one of these games and be like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to play all the games because none of the stories match up anyway, right? But
yeah, and that's intimidating if you care about that stuff. Like that's another reason why it's like I don't want to devote myself to like 30 movies and TV shows and video games and books. Like,
yeah,
I do enough of that already.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I'll see what it is. I'll see how reviews are. If this is honestly just some next generational groundbreaking thing, I could see myself trying it. That's all I'm saying. A couple ones that like I didn't put on my list, but kind of like you, where it has my eye. The new Perfect Dark has my eye. I'm not a first person shooter person. We know this, but just the way she was moving and all the gadgets and stuff, it was cool. It was kind of like when I saw RoboCop for the first time. Like something about it was just cool. Like it wasn't necessarily next level stuff.
Yeah.
But it just looked cool, and this is kind of the same vibe. Cyberpunk as well. It just looks cool.
Yeah. I never got a chance to play it. The original Perfect Dark, I mean.
Oh, the original.
Yeah, I never got a chance to play it, but everybody that I talked to in school at that time were like, "Oh man, if you like GoldenEye, you'll love this one, right?" But I never got a chance to play it, so yeah, it was cool to see it. That definitely is interesting. Definitely keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I got some good news for you later. Perfect Dark is one of them. Doom Dark Age is the same thing. Like I like original Doom more than the new Dooms, but still, it's Doom. Who knows? It could be fun. And what was the other one? There was another one that caught my eye in that thing. But anyway, all this to say, there's tons of games, but it's just, what am I really into? What am I really going to play? That's what I tried to do here. And these 4 that I listed, or 5 with Astrobot, it's just the stuff that I'm either going to play or like I'm very close to being a certified yes to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
That's it for my list that's not Nintendo, but you can go ahead and read off your list. You can name the Nintendo ones, I don't care. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like Doom the Dark Ages. I mean, as soon as that got announced, I'm totally excited about that one, and that's obviously on all consoles, and It's so funny because like you go into the comments and people are like, "Oh, it's not an exclusive." Nobody said it was. Nobody said it was.
Yeah.
It's a game announcement. What are we fighting about? We're getting a fucking wicked-looking Doom that takes place, I think before the first one. I think we're going all the way back, right? The Dark Ages, right?
Medieval times.
So this is cool, and just watching the trailer, there's all kinds of like new features. There seem to be like aerial attacks seem to be like a thing now. It's looking really, really cool. So I'm definitely excited about that. I haven't played Doom Returnal.
No, you think of Eternal,
yeah. I'm thinking of
Returnal's
Returnal,
another
the other
game.
game. Yeah. That game kicked my ass. I think I put 2 hours in and then quit.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, man. I bought Returnal for cheap. This is after it had just come out, right? During the PS5 shortage. Somebody was selling it on Kijiji for $35. Which
bad.
the game's brand new. The game is like $90.
Especially at the
Canadian,
time, yeah,
right?
cool.
And so, or $79.99, $80, whatever. So I got it like at a discount. But it was so hard, and I had just got the PS5, and I just wanted to really sink my teeth into.
You just wanted to play something.
And I know somebody out there is like, Returnal, you can sink so much into it. I know, but it's just not my kind of game. And maybe I couldn't handle the difficulty. But I did enjoy a lot of things about the game: the ambience, the sound, all that other good stuff, right? The darkness, right? The fear, and of course the repetitivity of when you lose, right? But Doom the Dark Ages looks good. And then it's so funny because I don't have any of the subscriptions for any of the Nintendo passes currently. I just don't have the online gimmick activated. But to see Turok Perfect Dark and Metroid Zero Mission going onto the N64, bro, the Adult 17 collection, what the fuck is that all about?
Yeah,
so
man.
Nintendo's got this new, I guess, subsection or a new way to divide the games, and that was one of them, right? But you know what's funny? As I was thinking when they announced that, and then they said and announcing for the first time, I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna put like a Duke Nukem or something on there. You know what I mean? Show some titties on the Switch, right?
I really did think it would be Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah.
Because that game is like, it looks cute, but it's foul as hell.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't, and I was kind of like, because that would have been like a Banjo-Kazooie situation where I would have dropped what I was doing and I'd start the file.
Right.
Playing that shit. That's a blind spot for me. I want to play it. But yeah.
And so and also I didn't put it on my list because I don't know anything about it, but obviously you do. There's the Zelda. What is it? The four swords.
Oh, the Link to the Past.
Four Swords. Yeah. Which I saw it. I'm like, oh man, Ryan will like that one. But that's an SNES game, right?
Okay, so that is the Game Boy Advance port of the Super Nintendo game.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I'll explain. It's basically Link to the Past on Super Nintendo, but it has a second game in it called The Four Swords, and that was played with 4 Game Boy Advances with their own carts on a GameCube connected by link cables, and that's how you could play that game.
Fucking complicated.
It was bullshit. Hence was why I've never played that. But now that it's on Switch Online, you could play it online. So there's none of that bullshit anymore, which is so fucking
Stop
cool.
looking at my screen.
God damn.
Hey, is GoldenEye... Sorry, is GoldenEye also online?
GoldenEye's there. Yeah, GoldenEye's
Have
online.
you tried going online? Or you just get murdered?
No, because I never liked GoldenEye anyway. I don't play it. But it is online. Perfect Dark is also going to be online.
I know.
So that's cool, man.
That's what made me think of it. I'm like, holy fuck, Perfect Dark online. That's cool. And then, like
dude,
I said,
like you could play all these old games with online stuff now. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty cool. And that's fun. Yeah. We're eating well. And then just real quick, the last one is Metroid 4. You know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be some kind of Metroid fanboy because I'm not. I played, Super Metroid a little bit. I mentioned a couple years ago during the pandemic, I played it on my phone. It's like one of the only phone games I ever played. And then I'm like, I'm going to build a whole collection. And I think I got like 6 games, and then I just went back to my console. Right? I'm just a console guy. But man, this Metroid Prime 4, this elusive unicorn that has been coming and going for seems like more than 10 years, right? But it's finally coming, at least supposed to come, and it's great. I mean, again, I'm not a hardcore fan of the series, but to know that this is being taken care of by the original people that made the original games is pretty cool, at least from a production standpoint. So there's a lot of stuff to get excited about. And again, I don't suffer from fear of missing out, so I'm not worried about playing Metroid 3, 2, or 1 or Mission 0, right? But it does tickle my fancy. I'm like, okay, these are kind of fucking cool games that I would definitely like to check out. But man, just watching Metroid in action, it just looks really, really cool. I thought for sure they would hold off until the Switch 2, right?
Me too.
But here we are. I'm shocked this is not on your list, to be honest with you.
Well, all the Nintendo games I didn't put on my list.
They're all on the list.
Surprise!
They're all on the list.
But like I have a separate list, and this isn't everything that was in the Direct. That's just what I'm interested in, which is a pretty big list.
Yeah.
No, but Metroid Prime 4 looks cool. Real quick, Metroid Zero Mission. Do you know what that really is?
No. What is it really?
That is a remake of Metroid on NES.
Wow. Okay.
So if you ever want to play these games chronologically, this is what you play. Don't play the outdated NES version. This thing apparently is just it's just great. It's an amazing game, and it added a map because there was no map in the original.
Also, life improvements.
So it's got the life improvements, and this came out in like 2004, so they were already thinking ahead with that shit.
That's cool.
So yeah, for them to add like Zero Mission, the Zelda game on Game Boy, like it's just great stuff. And Perfect Dark, it's smart timing. They just announced a new game and they're like, hey, remember this shit? Right?
Yeah.
Man, it's cool. The only pointless one I think is Turok. Turok, you could already get Turok, a nice HD version.
I thought so.
You could already get it and you could pay for it and keep it for yourself forever. So I don't understand why they decided to add this, but whatever. It is what it is.